We will stay with the phones at 617-830-4750. Let's go to our caller from the 813 area code. 813, who's this and what's on your mind today?
This is Glenn in Tampa, Florida. Hey, David, I was just wondering, I'm not trying to be conspiratorial or anything like that,
Okay.
but when people talked about with the Vegas shooting the other night and everything, and they said they heard shots on the ground, and I was just wondering, it's not being conspiratorial. I don't think there was like this multiple planned terrorist attack or anything like that,
Yep.
or false flag. That's ridiculous. But don't you think it's possible, since I believe Nevada is open carry, people, and there were a lot of people there,
Yeah.
and don't you think it's not inconceivable that somebody, they hear the gunshots, they're packing, I mean, they freak out and they start shooting in the general direction of where the shots are coming from? And do you think that's possible, where people were hearing the shots on the ground, it was people like that who were trying to be, for lack of a better term, heroes?
Okay, very good. So I like the question because you're proposing something that's an alternative to the official story, but you're doing it in a more critically thinking way. You're not just being hyperbolic and conspiratorial. I think that the phrasing you're using, which is it conceivable that, being Nevada, that someone else did take out a gun and maybe fired that gun? I think it is absolutely conceivable. I think it is also absolutely conceivable that people who were on the ground thought that they were hearing what sounded like firearms being fired from the ground, but it was actually echo, ricocheting, and absolute and total chaos that made people believe that maybe that was going on when really it wasn't. And I think I mean, when you see the video, the eyewitness video that was taken of what was going on there, and when you research this idea of being able to identify the direction of gunfire and sort of the difficulties implicit with that, I think that is probably even more likely, you know?
Yeah. I was just wondering, again, like I said, because I thought maybe there was just possibly some validity to it.
Yep.
And given that, again, I've heard people say, the reason I brought up was after the theater shooting in Aurora, there were people calling who were on various shows and whatnot, were saying, if I had had a gun, if I'd have been in the theater,
Yeah.
I would have taken the guy out. And the response, was, well, you would have killed more people. So
Of
I was
course.
just wondering, maybe that was my theory, that maybe somebody was trying to be a hero and just start shooting in the general direction. And that might have been what people were hearing.
It's
It was just a
possible.
thought.
And you
I
know
just wanted
what?
to run it
The
by you.
Vegas scenario really illuminates the idea of the good guy with the gun as the solution to the problem. In the Aurora, Colorado theater shooting you're talking about, more people shooting
Yeah.
firearms in a dark room is going to solve the problem. And in Vegas, imagine that 3 or 4 people do take out guns. Police show up, they hear gunshots and see armed people. Even if they're good guys with guns, those people are probably getting shot, right? So it would not have been of much use in that particular case. So Glenn, thank you for
No,
the
of course
call.
not.
Appreciate it.
Well,
Always
thank
good
you,
to
David.
hear from Tampa, Florida.